Today we're going to talk about how to find the area of 2D shapes. If you look at your reference sheet, we've talked about how to find the area of a rectangle, and a triangle, and a parallelogram, and a circle. Today, we're going to mix these shapes all up and make sure we know how to identify which shape is which, and then which formula to use. When I look at this shape, I know that I have to decide, is it a rectangle, a triangle, a parallelogram, or a circle? I see 4 right angles here, so I know that this is going to be a rectangle or a square. But when I look at these two sides, I see that these have different measurements, so I know it's a rectangle. So I'm going to label this shape R for rectangle. Then I'm going to look at my reference sheet and find the rectangle formula. The rectangle formula says area equals length times width. I'm going to label the length and the width on my diagram here. Remember, it doesn't matter which one is which because we're multiplying. I'm going to take 7.8 times 7, and I'm going to get 54.6. Now, I need to make sure I label that number there, feet square, because we found the area of this shape. And this was a rectangle. Looking at this shape, I need to decide what kind of shape it is. So when I look at this shape, I see that it has 3 sides and a height through the middle marked by this right angle. Because it has 3 sides, I know it is a triangle. So I'm going to write a T for triangle. Now I'm going to go ahead and find the area formula on my reference sheet. The formula on my reference sheet says 1/2 base times height. I know what that really means I'm doing is base times height divided by 2. If you want to, you can change this to the formula on your reference sheet. Okay? This is the same as area equals 1/2 base times height. So I need to decide what the base and the height are. The base and the height I know are connected by the right angle. So when I look at that right angle, I see it's connecting the side that's 11 and the side that's the 5.7, or the measurement that is the 5.7. So I'm going to take 11 times 5.7 and then divide that answer by 2. Using my calculator, 11 times 5.7 is 62.7. When I divide that by 2, I get 31.35. Now, I need to make sure that I label my answer. The unit in this shape is inches, so it's 31.35 inches square for my final answer, because this was a triangle. When I look at this shape, I need to decide what it is. I see it has 4 sides, but they don't have 90-degree angles. I do see that there are pairs of parallel sides. That means this is a parallelogram, so I'm going to label it with a P. To find the area of a parallelogram, I look at my reference sheet and the formula says base times height. Now I know the base and height, just like in a triangle, are connected by this right angle. So I'm going to highlight the right angle, and I see this side is a 6.3, and this side, the measurement, is a 2.3. So I'm simply going to take 6.3 times 2.3 to get the value of the area of my parallelogram. 6.3 times 2.3, and I get 14.49. That right now doesn't have a label. I'm finding area, so it's going to be kilometers squared. This was a parallelogram because it had opposite sides that were parallel. And this shape right here, we all know is a circle. Now circles can be tricky because we have to use pi, and we have to make sure that we're talking about a radius when we find the area. When I write the formula down from my reference sheet, it says pi r squared. When I look at this shape, I see this measurement here, and because it only goes from the outside to the middle, I know it's a radius. My formula says radius, I'm given a radius, so I can use that number. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute my values. I'm going to keep the pi symbol for right now, and I'm going to go 5.5 squared. Now, you can write your answer in terms of pi. If I did that, I would just take 5.5 squared and get 30.25 pi as my answer. That's one possible correct answer with some units, miles square. However, this is in terms of pi. If I wanted an answer that was fully multiplied out as a numerical value, as a number, I could take 30.25 and I could multiply it now by pi. Using the pi button on your calculator, you're going to end up with 95.033317771, a big messy decimal. So I'm going to go ahead and write the first few digits down, 331 ... and then I'm going to round it to 95.03. Okay, I'm going to show rounding with those approximating symbol, and then my unit is miles square. So please pause your video and go through the rest of the problems on your paper, and before you do anything, label what kind of shape you have. Do you have a square, a rectangle, a parallelogram, a triangle, or a circle? After you've labeled, go ahead and write the formulas for each. Once you've written the formulas for each shape, go ahead and check your answers and make sure you have the right shapes. Once you've done that, you may finish the worksheet. Please feel free to come back and watch this as much as you need to get any clarification, or to watch previous videos if you don't understand how to find the area of certain shapes. When you are all done, please check your answers. Mastery means everything but one was right.